Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just wanted to do a little video, give you an update on what life has been like after the process. For those of you that follow me know that I started the process, I want to say early to almost mid last year. Got through everything all the way up until the polygraph exam. Now in this video, I'm gonna kind of give y'all a little rundown of what led up to what was ultimately my fall. I'm a pretty open book about what my life is and all of that good stuff. So I get through everything, start the process. Never wanted to go into law enforcement. Never thought I'd see myself going into law enforcement, but I did it. Made it all the way up to the polygraph. The week prior, I was going through some personal stuff with my marriage and whatnot. I got the call on a Tuesday that they wanted to schedule my exam. I said, all right. Me thinking I can go in there with I wasn't thinking, but me thinking I was going in there with a clear mind and be able to pass. It just didn't happen. Now, at the beginning, you fill out an equip, which is basically a background, and they ask you, everything. So I answered everything, ask you your previous, drug use and all that good stuff. As a teenager, I did teenage shit, smoked weed, hung around with the wrong people, typical teenage shit. So I did put that in there. Came down to the exam, some of the questions that I was getting asked, my mind was racing 100 miles an hour. My mind was at home. It wasn't with me in that room. So at the end of it, obviously, he told me, I failed. And before they start anything, they want to make you feel comfortable. So they want to get to know you, and they ask you, is there anything that's going to prevent you from passing the exam? And you do sign a NDA, do not disclose agreement. But my time in law enforcement to pursue is, it's at the end. I'm going to be 30 in a couple months. I have my mind set on bigger things. So, I did advise him of what I was going through personally and stuff. And he did ask me if I wanted to reschedule. I wanted to get it done. I was already there. I live in South Texas. And the exam was in San Antonio. So I drove, 2.5 hours. I just wanted to get it done and over with so I can, repatch stuff with my marriage. So yeah, I was just all over the place. And they stop you and, hey, your readings are abnormal or what have you. And I just kept going and ultimately, dug myself deeper and deeper. If you're going through personal stuff and you get that call and you're in that stage of the process, man, see if you can give yourself a little time to clear your mind before you go in. Don't go in there with baggage, because it will come out. Now that was my doing. I was riding cloud nine when I started the process, and then kind of just fell down. This video, I'm kind of gonna go here, go there, give a little marriage advice and all that other stuff. When it comes to your marriage, man, and you're going through some stuff, with your significant other, communicate. That's a big thing. We had no communication whatsoever. We were at the most distant we had ever been. What do they call it? The roommate stage. That's where we were at. And we've been together for a decade, so you kind of just go through the motions every day. We had 3 kids, basically staying together for them. But you don't ever want to go through that and not think at the end, what if we did this? What if we did that? A lot of people say marriage counseling. Like I said, this video is going to be everywhere. A lot of people say marriage counseling, but it doesn't work if both aren't willing to do it. So ultimately, we separated. Everything kind of just crashed in all at once. I fell out of the process, and then my marriage was coming to an end, and I was in a deep place. I'm big on mental health, and my mental wasn't right at that time. Thankfully, we separated for a little while. We took that time to explore what we needed to do to make this work. I think it finally came to a head when we both realized that the divorce talk was ramping up. We both signed the papers, and we're like, is this what we really want to do? And ultimately it wasn't. We just fell out of love. It happens. You stop doing everything that you did to win that person over. You stop dating, you stop chasing. You just wake up and go through the motions every day. And I'm speaking to the older crowd. Now my channel is going to be a little mental health, a little marriage advice, to my best of my ability. I'm going to test the waters, and I don't care. I don't give two shits if I get views or likes or anything. This is my coping mechanism. Because when it happened, we separated and I shut down. I went through a depression for a little bit. I lost 50 pounds in about a month. I stopped eating. I completely shut down. I started drinking a lot. I turned into an everyday dad to every other day. That was our agreement. So I got my kids every other day, and when I didn't have them, I was at the bar, and I was drowning my sorrows in alcohol, and you don't want to do that. To the younger crowd, man, I'm gonna be 30, so I'm not that old, but I've lived a full life in the 30 years that I've been on this fucked up planet. Man, when it comes to a relationship, do your best. Give that person your best. There's gonna be a lot of temptation, a lot of outside attention, and the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Especially if you have that person that's 10 toes to the ground, down to ride for you every fucking day. Man, it ain't even worth it. And on both of our parts, we just, we were going through the motions. And happy to say, we separated, and we worked what we needed to work out. We started communicating a lot more. Obviously, we still have, disagreements and whatnot, but our communication now is top tier. And that's something that you want in life, period. Whether it's relationship, work, with this process, communication is key. And everything reverts back to that. Thank God I didn't have to go back to the oil field. As some of you know from my previous videos, that was probably where I was going to end up. I ended up coming back to my old job. They wanted me back, but they were willing to pay handsomely. So yeah, man, I didn't want to be away from my family. I couldn't work on my marriage if I'm gone 20, 30 days at a time. But those of you that are young, and work on your mental, work on yourself, be the best person that you can be, regardless of what it is. And really just get out there and talk, man. You'd be surprised on thinking somebody is weird, man. They got some good life stories. I talk to a lot of older people. I like getting advice from older people that have lived life. like I said, I'm big on mental health. I'm a pretty open book about it. You know, about 15 years ago, my dad ended up committing suicide. So when I was going through my depression, man, he left 3 kids behind, me, my brother, and my sister. I didn't want to leave my kids like that. You know, I didn't want to talk to anybody. You know, my wife was my best friend. I have a best friend who's like my brother, but I didn't want to talk. I completely shut down. And that's a no-no when you're going through something like that. I know a lot of people just shut down and don't want to talk. And there's always somebody willing to listen. And even if they don't talk back, it's a ear to talk to. And I tell that to a lot of people. I'm the glue of my little group of friends and in my family. When people have problems, they talk to me, and you know, I answer to the best of my ability with the experiences I've been through. But as far as mental health, man, take care of yourself. Don't ever be afraid. I know there's a stigma around, you know, oh, you're depressed and or you have anxiety. You're labeled as weak, and you're not. It's not your fault. Trust me. I know there's those days that you feel like you can't talk to anybody, but there is, man. And a lot of people say, oh, they were crying out for help. But I'm very blunt about it. We're not fucking mind readers. If you're going through something and you need help, excuse me, say something. Don't just assume that nobody wants to hear your story. Man, I sat down with somebody the other day and we talked for almost 4.5 hours just on mental health. And he had questions that I didn't have answers to. But just him asking, he said, man, it felt liberating having somebody to talk to. And I'm always that person. I don't turn away, I don't shy away, I don't turn my back. Because I've been there. Right after my dad passed, I was 16. Man, I went through the darkest time besides separating from my wife. Went through the darkest time of my life. You know, losing a parent the way I did. And not having, I had my stepdad, but not having my actual father, you know, in my life. Through the most important time of my life. You know, a teenager going into manhood. I myself became a father at 18. I dropped out of high school. I went straight to work. And I've been working ever since. And that little girl, I tell her all the time, you know, she saved me. I was going to end up one of 2 places. I was going to end up either in jail. I know it's cliche, but either in jail or dead. One of the 2, because that's the path I was going down. And I'm glad that I became a father when I did, because it really did save me. I have 3 kids. I have 2 daughters and a son, 11, 3, and 2. And man, those little shitheads are what I live for every single day. Man, I can come home stressed the fuck out from work and my day, and just having those random hugs, random kisses, my kids crawling all over me. My oldest, you know, she's kind of got out that stage of I love you, Dad, or, you know, but having her there, and I've had custody of her since she was 1, full time. It brightens my day up. And when I was going through that depression after me and my wife separated, I wasn't the best person to be a father, and that sucks to fucking say. But I was going through the motions every day. Like, you don't ever want to be in that position to where you think you're not enough for your kids, and sometimes people feel like that, and that's what my dad felt like, and unfortunately, it was his downfall. But little did he know, you know, he was our superhero, and it came to an end. But don't ever feel like you're not enough, and that's talking to whoever watches this, whether you're, you know, a teenager scrolling through YouTube and you come across this video, or you're an older head, middle age, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs somebody. regardless of how you feel about anything. I'm gonna turn this channel into like a mental health, a little bit of everything. Mental health, like I said, marriage advice, some sports. I'm big on sports. I played sports since I was little, all the way through high school. And like I said, this is my outlet. This is my coping mechanism. I'm proud to say today that I'm not that person I was, 6 months ago, where I was not wanting to talk. Me and my wife are now more in love than we ever were. 10 years is a long time to be with somebody, and when you lose sight of that and you lose that person, it's like, oh fuck, like shit is real. And I'm just glad we were able to hash everything out and ultimately get back together. But yeah, I'll end up turning all this into something. Like I said, I don't care about views, likes, any of that shit. If you reach out, man, I don't have Instagram no more. I know I had said it on my previous videos. I actually had gotten off social media for a while. But I had a lot of people reaching out through Instagram. Unfortunately, I don't have that no more. But I do have this. I know it took me a while to get to y'all, some of y'all's comments. I don't really reply. I'll make a video and answer, questions and comments that I got. But I just want to thank everybody that has watched my videos and commented and gave their praise of, even starting the process. I just want to say I'm proud of y'all if y'all haven't heard it yet. Regardless of if you're watching this to get into the process, did it, and got out of it, whatever, I am fucking proud of each and every one of you. From the bottom of my heart, I love seeing people win. So, like I said, my channel's going to turn into a little bit of everything. Test the waters on this and see where it goes. So y'all be seeing a lot more of me. If there's stuff that y'all want me to talk about, I don't talk about politics and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear a fucking thing about that. But if there's something y'all want me to touch on or anything like that, man, having to do with life or anything, man, just throw it in the comment section and I'll get to it when I can. But until my next video, man, I wish y'all the best of luck in life, period. I love you, each and every one of you. I think that's what we lose sight of, is loving each other. And I love to give love. I love to give praise. I love to give my people flowers. And that's what this is gonna be. Y'all gonna get the real side of me. I was a little, more professional in my previous videos, but man, I cuss like a fucking sailor. But y'all are gonna get the real side of me in my later videos, and really get to know me. I'd love to get to know y'all. And we'll see what happens. Until my next video, man, love.